next movie I watched was Suicide Squad, Extended Edition. This is not the Suicide Squad. This is the bad Suicide Squad.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
I want to say first off that the first time I reviewed this, I watched the theatrical cut, and it got a very low score. I think it was in my bottom 10 movies.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
This time I enjoyed it more. I wouldn't say like much more, but definitely more than I did. And I still think it's a bad movie, but it's an endearing film, especially if you like some of the characters.
Something tells me a whole lot of people are about to die.
The plot of the movie goes like this. All these different supervillains are in jail. Kind of shows how some of them were caught.
No honor among thieves, eh?
And then they're approached by Amanda Waller to start the Suicide Squad thing. Except then she puts a bomb in their neck, so that doesn't matter anyway.
Did you threaten me?
And one of the people she recruits is Enchantress, who immediately escapes and tries to take over the world.
For the last time, join me or die.
While that's going on, Joker tries to break Harley out by disabling her bomb and stuff, but then he dies in a helicopter crash, except not really. But that's what gives Harley her motivation to help them for some reason. I don't know. And in the end, they all decide that they're going to save the world even though they're supervillains.
Hey, she's trying to take over the world.
So? But the world never done for us anyway. It hates us.
Even though this was the extended cut, I still think the first 45 minutes or so is completely unnecessary. And the point in the film when they all meet each other for the first time, they're all taken out of their prison and stuff, would have been a much more interesting start.
The voices. I'm kidding. Jeez. That's not what they really said.
So some of the stuff in that first 45 minutes is pretty cool, like Deadshot killing the mobster, but it could have been used in a flashback or something like that. Especially with how sick with flashbacks this movie is, that wouldn't have been too detrimental to the film. And the whole film is so disjointed, it still feels like I'm slowly losing my grip on reality as I watch it, until everything I see is Suicide Squad. And I'm locked in Arkham Asylum and also forced into classic rock montages all day.
You don't own me.
The tone is all over the place. The pacing is turned up to 11, except when it grinds to a screeching halt. There's too much plot. There's a storyline for every character, and there's too many characters. Oh, except for Croc and Katana, who don't get a story, they're just there.
Not me, shorty. I'm beautiful.
Feels like a kid made this movie. And you know what? If my kid made this movie, I would gladly hang it on my fridge. Shunk. Good effort.
We weren't picked to succeed, you know that, right? We were all chosen to fail.
What? You got something better to do?
The extended cut is slightly better. The pacing is better. Some storylines are given more depth, especially with Harley and Joker. Not that that was necessary, because I still feel that Joker is a completely unnecessary character in this film. Like, the only reason he's there is to give Harley her backstory so we can get it over with, pretty much. But with these additional moments, the pacing is a little bit better than it was the first time through. And the story kind of holds up a little bit better too. I would still say it's still full of plot holes and a lot of stuff just happens for no reason. But it was definitely a more enjoyable film that made slightly more sense, at the very least.
Hey, I'm cooperating, alright? This is me being cool.
The best thing I can say about it is that much of the humor is actually pretty funny.
Whoa, easy, cowgirl. Ain't that kind of a mission. Have a seat.
She seems nice.
Some of the cinematography also wasn't too bad. Some of it's just horrible, don't get me wrong, but there were some bits where I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. The only other thing I can think to compliment is the acting.
I don't like this flag.
I don't like it either.
But that is entirely on a case-by-case basis. So here's a few words about each main character, given in no order whatsoever.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about the crazy ones?
Huh?
The Joker. Is the joke that this guy is the Joker? Katana. Hey, it's Kamiko from The Boys. Silent assassin, liable to rip your face off? Yep, definitely Kamiko. Katana? No, I've never heard of her. Amanda Waller. Perfectly cast. I can see why James Gunn recast them for the sequel.
Are you the devil?
Maybe.
Harley Quinn. Ditto.
You're so screwed.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Get off! Get off! Harley, what do you mean by that?
Rick Flag. I honestly forgot this guy was in the movie. He's much better in the sequel.
Well, you need to handle this shit. Alright, get up there, smack on her ass, tell her knock this shit off.
I do not think that'd be wise.
Killer Croc. The first time I saw this movie in theaters, I was extremely disappointed how little he was in the movie, especially considering this is still the only live-action version of the character. He says or does so little I can't really gauge his performance, and it feels like they just threw him in there because they could.
I live on the ground. Y'all are just tourists.
Deadshot. He's fine.
You got bullet weight. Some shots you'll even have to take the curvature to Earth. And
The Huntress and her brother. I don't remember his name. They're both highly forgettable, actually. I think this is more the movie's fault because of how little the plot ever focuses on their story. You know, the main plot of the movie. But when I explain this movie to people later on, I never think to explain it. It's a movie where the Suicide Squad fights the Huntress, you know? Even though that's supposed to be what the main conflict is here.
You need only bow and serve beneath my feet.
Captain Boomerang. He's pretty funny, actually, but he doesn't get much more characterization than that.
I'm walking out of here free man, or we're gonna start having some real fun.
Why don't we have some fun?
Diablo. In the original cut, it felt like the rest of the team was just carrying him around to be the MacGuffin he is at the end. But I actually felt for his story a bit more this time, and I'm actually not sure what's different.
can't change what I did. And neither can you!
I would say overall the extended cut is better than the original cut, but not much better. Not so much better that I'd say it fixes the original cut, or that either are really worth watching, but it is better than it was. Of the two movies I have so far, Suicide Squad goes right in between them.